Hello, and welcome to another episode of Grit, Grace, and Growth. I am your host, Laura Navaquin, and today we are diving into a topic that's essential for both personal and professional success. That is finding grace under pressure. In today's fast paced world, staying composed and graceful in high stress situations is crucial. So, whether you're managing a team, facing personal crisis, or navigating through a decision, handling pressure with poise, well, it can make all the difference. So, what exactly does it mean to find grace under pressure? Well, grace under pressure refers to the ability to maintain composure, empathy, and professionalism when faced with stressful and challenging situations. I know a lot easier said than done sometimes, but it's really about balancing the inner calm with effective action, even when those external circumstances can be chaotic. Grace isn't just about appearance. It's about how you manage your emotions and communicate with others and make decisions under stress. Understanding the science behind stress can help us appreciate why grace under pressure is so valuable. When we experience stress, our bodies release cortisol and adrenaline. These hormones prepare us for a fight or flight situation or that type of response, which can increase our anxiety and cloud our judgment, make us reactive and even defensive depending on the situation. However, research has shown mindfulness and emotional regulation techniques can help mitigate these effects. Mindfulness helps us calm the nervous system and allows us to approach stressful situations with greater clarity. Also, developing emotional intelligence also helps us manage our response and understand others better. Overall, making it easier for a graceful situation or a graceful reaction, even under pressure. So, let's explore some of these practical strategies for maintaining grace under pressure. First of all, mindfulness of deep breathing. Start by incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine. Techniques such as deep breathing and meditation can help you center your thoughts and calm your body. So, whether you're starting the day off with meditation or journaling, even, for instance, trying some breathing exercises, inhale deeply and hold for 4 counts while exhaling slowly over 4 counts. Doing this a couple of times can help calm your nervous system. Repeat this again and again to regain your focus and just calm your nervous system, your situation. Also, emotional intelligence. This was one that had been brought to me by one of my mentors or shared with me by one of my mentors. But building emotional intelligence involves becoming more aware of your emotions and how they affect our behavior ultimately. Practical active listening and empathy in your interactions. Ultimately, by understanding and managing your own emotions, you're better equipped to handle stressful situations in composure. So, knowing how you react to certain responses and understanding that perhaps typically maybe you get defensive or maybe you want to snark back with a sly remark or whatever it may be, but understanding that about yourself and being able to take that into consideration when you're faced with stress or a chaotic situation and knowing how you need to be conscious of not responding back. Also, preparation and planning. This is one that I really feel is one that I take into that, need to be mindful of myself. And that is to anticipate potential challenges of your plan and what your responses are going to be to those. And by that, I don't necessarily mean to overthink a situation. So you're making a plan to proceed with this goal and to overthink it so much that you're sitting on the sidelines and never actually really getting started. But have a plan B. And again, some things don't necessarily work to plan B either. It may be even plan C or a combination of all three of those plans, A, B, and C. But having a plan and also some in place, or not necessarily reactions, plans in place on how you would pivot each of those things if they were to go awry, or some of those things if they were to go awry. So when you're prepared, you're less likely to be overwhelmed with sudden stress when changes or obstacles arise. And for example, if you're leading a project with tight deadlines, creating a detailed plan with contingency options to manage any of those unexpected issues that may arise, that can help you just settle some of that stress that you may feeling, or that feeling of overwhelm. All right, this is one I totally need to take into consideration more often for myself, and that is self-care. I was having this conversation with she, I guess she is one of my mentors, but having this conversation with her about how important self-care is. And this has been a topic of conversations I'm having lately all too often. Perhaps it's a sign from the universe or a sign from God that I need to consider and implement self-care far more regularly. But self-care practices, so with regular care, it's essential for managing stress effectively. Also, taking time for activities that help rejuvenate you, such as exercise, hobbies that you may have, or even just resting, taking some time and putting something on Netflix that you like to watch and unwind to at the end of the day. I know even for myself, that's something that I get to do far too rarely, because by the end of the day, I'm unwinding, getting the kids ready to lay down and prepped for bed. We put something on, my husband and I put something on Netflix or Hulu, and we spend more time searching for something that we're interested in watching, 10, 15 minutes, and then finally agreeing on something, putting it on, and probably within 5 minutes, I'm dozing off or struggling to keep my eyes open to at least get some of the show in, because I want to just get in some TV time to unwind and relax, but it rarely ever happens. Also, now let's jump to the next item here on my list is reframing positive thinking. So, shifting your perspective by focusing on the positive outcomes rather than dwelling on the negatives. And this is one I definitely had to add this to my list, because one that I've been having several conversations with my students, with my children, even my husband, all so often lately is about reframing those situations. Not everything works out as planned. There are objectives that come into play, obstacles that we have to face that were unplanned for. And again, having those plans, so knowing how to navigate around some of those obstacles that we're faced with, but also just the stress around that as well. And not necessarily looking at the situation as overwhelm by feeling like, oh, poor me, it didn't work out. I had plan A or plan B or whatever it may be with the circumstance that it didn't work out, but still understanding and being grateful for, hey, I still got this deal. Maybe the deal isn't starting, or the contract isn't starting on the date that I originally planned for it to, or originally as discussed, because other things came into play. And now that time frame is getting pushed out, or that launch date is getting pushed out, but still taking it back, internalizing that, and being thankful that you still have this launch date set up for a later date. And hey, maybe it's even a blessing, because perhaps now with those extra 2 weeks, for example, that your project got pushed back, you have more time to better prepare for that launch, or better set up marketing or word of mouth or whatever it may be. I'm just making up an example here and kind of taking from own personal experiences of things that have occurred in my own business and life. When timelines get pushed back, I get frustrated and just very frustrated sometimes with those, because I may have had that contingency plan in place, or have thought I crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's, but things still arise and happen, and budgets need to be increased, or timelines are getting pushed back. But still taking a step back, looking at the whole picture, and understanding that, hey, I still have something to be grateful for here. It didn't mean that I lost a project. I didn't lose the deal. It's just a timeline got pushed back, and there could be some blessings in that as well. So when faced with these challenging situations, try to reframe it as an opportunity for growth. This positive outlook can help you stay calm and approach the situation still with a constructive mindset, and understand that some things are just out of your control. You can do all the right things and things will still arise and still happen. So instead of getting upset by them or distraught or just overwhelmed, let it be. It is still going to work out, and having that positive mindset. So demonstrating grace under pressure has a significant impact on your relationships and your career. Ultimately, it builds trust and respect from your colleagues, your clients, your friends, and how you handle stress with poise. You can be the one out there inspiring others to do the same and creating that sense of calmness within the culture that you're in. Whether you're leading a team of 2 or a team of 30. Grace under pressure fosters better teamwork, enhances decision making, and promotes positive workplace for anyone and everyone involved. Again, whether you are a team of 2 or a team of 30. All right, guys, that's it for today's episode of Grits, Grace, and Growth. Remember, finding grace under pressure is about maintaining that inner calm and composure while managing external issues and stress. By practicing mindfulness, building emotional intelligence, and preparing effectively, you can navigate the challenges with grace and confidence. Thank you for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe. Tune in next time for more insights and inspiration on how to cultivate grit, grace, and growth in your life.